Hello there, very good evening and a warm welcome to the news live on Rupavahini Channel I. I'm Sharon Mascarenhas.
A very good evening to you. I am Dishan Virakon and we start off by taking a look at your headlines for tonight. The Prime Minister addresses the G20 Interfaith and Cultural Summit. The COVID vaccine will be given to children with special needs and birth defects from next week. Speedy solutions will be given to the people who are expecting to leave for foreign employment. People appreciate for being able to purchase essential goods under controlled prices. A 5-year plan has been drawn up to uplift the tourism industry affected by the pandemic. The tusker Nedungamuye Raja returns home after performing duties at the Kandy Dalada Perahara. The Pope tours Hungary.
Now for those and other stories in detail, starting off with local news. The 2020 G20 Interfaith and Cultural Summit commenced in Italy today. Prime Minister Basil Rajapaksa delivered the keynote address of the inaugural session. The summit is taking place at Bologna University, which is one of the oldest educational institutes in Europe. The summit will discuss several issues, including the imbalance that has arisen between countries with the pandemic, impact on building peace among countries, impact on education globally, and climate change. The summit will take place until the 14th. Prime Minister Basil Rajapaksa left to Italy in the 10th to take part in the summit. A group of people, including Foreign Minister G.L. Pires and Prime Minister's Secretary Gamini Senarath, are accompanying the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is scheduled to meet several diplomats during his tour.
In the meantime, Sri Lankans in Italy said that space will not be given to embarrass or insult the Sri Lankan state leader who ended a 30-year-old war. Patriotic Sri Lankans pointed out that a certain group which joined the LTTE diaspora tried to protest against Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in Italy. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa undertook an official state visit to Italy to deliver the keynote address of the 2021 G20 Interfaith and Cultural Summit's inaugural session. A certain group of people has organized a protest against Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa based on the Easter Sunday attacks. However, a group of Sri Lankans in Italy has organized another agitation supporting Prime Minister Rajapaksa and the government. The demonstrators said that internal problems of the country should be solved inside the country. Incidents such as these affect the reputation of the country. This question has to be looked at without political angles.
In other stories, State Minister Channa Jayasumana says that the vaccination of children with special needs and birth defects will commence next week. He said that they would be given Pfizer vaccine. The State Minister said another 4 million Pfizer vaccine doses will be received by the country next month. State Minister Channa Jayasumana said that the vaccination of school students will begin after expert committee gives recommendations. He said that the recommendations have been given stating the children with special needs can be vaccinated and they will be given the Pfizer vaccine from next week. The Presidential Task Force held lengthy discussions on reopening schools. The Director General of Health Services has prepared a preliminary report to make necessary recommendations to open schools on the instructions of the President. Accordingly, it is expected to open schools gradually. Meanwhile, 20,402,849 vaccine doses have been given to the people under the COVID vaccination program. 30,458,621 have been given the first dose of the vaccine. 15,044,228 have been given the second dose of the vaccine. 2,105,771 have been given vaccine doses during the last 7 days. 225,521 vaccines doses have been given yesterday. The vaccination of persons between the ages of 20 to 29 years are continuing. A vaccination program took place today at the Batramulla Diyatha Uyana premises. TH persons who have been given the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine were given the second dose, and the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine has been given to persons between the age 20 to 29. A vaccination program took place today at Alpitiya Ganegoda Mahavidyalaya and Omantha Junior School. Individuals between the age of 20 to 29 years who are under training at Alpitiya Police Training School have been vaccinated. Vaccination of persons between the age of 20 to 29 years took place today at Udugama Mahavidyalaya in Galle. The first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine has been given there as well. A vaccination program took place today at Matara Devinura public grounds. The Pfizer vaccine has been given to people between the ages of 20 to 29 years. A vaccination program took place at Pitabeddara Dudley Senanayake Vidyalaya. Pfizer vaccine has been given there for persons between the ages of 20 to 29. The Army conducted a vaccination program to give vaccines to people above 60 years and for persons with special needs at Malkaduwa South and Heraliyavala by visiting their homes. 2,022 COVID patients were found from the country today. 61,194 are under treatment and 1,579 have recovered from the virus today. Accordingly, 412,812 have recovered from the virus. The Director General of Health Services confirmed today that 144 COVID deaths which occurred yesterday. 122 out of them are more than 60 years of age. 21 persons in the ages between 30 to 59 and 1 person below 30 years are among the deceased. Meanwhile, a program to provide indigenous medicine who are under treatment at homes in Puttalam town, Tilladiya and Palaviya by visiting their homes was implemented yesterday with the participation of Puttalam Ayurveda Hospital staff. The State Ministry of the Provincial Councils has decided to provide funds for the crematoriums to cremate bodies of corona victims. The decision has been taken at a progress review meeting which took place under the patronage of State Minister Roshan Ranasinghe. 12,085,000 rupees has been given to cremate 2,417 bodies up to the 31st of August. Chairman of the Union, Venerable Muruthettuwe Anandathera, says that the Public Services United Nurses Union has not refrained from taking PCR and antigen samples. The union has requested authorities to take steps to minimize shortcomings at the hospital.
Now, an American study has revealed that people who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 are 11 times more likely to die of the disease. Meanwhile, massive demonstrations are underway in Istanbul, Turkey, against official coronavirus-related mandates. A study published by the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has indicated that people who are not vaccinated against COVID-19 were 11 times more likely to die of the disease and 10 times more likely to be hospitalized with the disease. The study looked at 600,000 COVID-19 cases in 13 states from April through mid-July. The study has further pointed out that the vaccination would protect the public from the severe complications of COVID-19. With more than 75 million eligible Americans still not vaccinated, hospitals in many states overwhelmed and fears that cases could grow further in the fall. Experts and officials are scrambling to slow the COVID-19 pandemic. In mid-June, before the surge in cases driven by the more transmissible Delta variant, the US reached a 7-day average of about 11,000 new cases a day. Meanwhile, more than 2,000 people demonstrated in Istanbul against official coronavirus-related mandates, including vaccinations, tests and masks, responding to new government measures and an inoculation push. In Turkey's largest such protest, mostly maskless people shouted slogans, held placards and Turkish flags, and sang songs in defense of what they called individual rights, echoing anti-vaccine rallies in some other countries. On last Monday, the government began requiring proof of vaccination or a negative COVID-19 test for all transport passengers as well as for those attending large events. All unvaccinated school employees are required to take a PCR test twice a week. Mask and social distancing are required in the public. Now, in more local stories, Minister Basil Rajapaksa has instructed officials to provide speedy solutions for the people who expect to leave for overseas employment. He has given the instructions while attending the progress review meeting of the Foreign Exchange Transmission Task Force at Temple Trees recently. The minister emphasized the need to remove obstacles for Sri Lankans to leave for foreign employments. Attention was paid on the lack of airline seats for them. The minister instructed officials to solve the problem soon by using the local airlines as well as foreign airlines. Minister Basil Rajapaksa pointed out that it is a responsibility of relevant sectors to look into the problems faced by Sri Lankan immigrant workers. Lengthy discussions took place on earning foreign exchange through exports and services, the progress up to August, and the problems that have affected the growth. Targets on exports were also looked into. The monthly average of exports of goods last year was $840 million. It was disclosed that this has increased to $986 million during the first 8 months of this year. Rubber and engineering products have achieved the expected targets even amidst the pandemic. Export earnings had grown up to $7,886 million from January to August this year. It is an increase of 22.4% when compared with last year. Minister Basil Rajapaksa said that the aim of the President and the government is to direct the country towards a production economy. The minister said that while maintaining the growth of export sectors to strengthen the economy, development activities in the country would be continued. A group of people, including parliamentarians and ministry secretaries, attended the meeting.
People have expressed their appreciation to the government led by the President for being able to purchase essential goods under a controlled price. A trade mafia took place in the country, creating a shortage of essential goods in the market, causing hardships to the people amidst the pandemic. The President appointed a Commissioner General of Essential Services under the emergency regulations to mete out justice to the affected people. Accordingly, rice, sugar and paddy stocks taken over by the government are being distributed through Sathasa and cooperative outlets at concessionary prices to consumers. People have appreciated the measures taken by the government in this regard.
Meanwhile, Minister Prasanna Ranthunga said that a 5-year plan will be implemented to uplift the tourism industry affected by the pandemic. The minister mentioned this to a group of Ukraine tour organizers at Ukraine Hilton Hotel. The minister toured Ukraine recently to attend a promotional program implemented jointly by the Tourism Development Authority and the Tourism Promotion Bureau. The ministry appreciated the support of Ukraine for the tourism regulatory project implemented by Sri Lanka when the coronavirus was spreading. The ministry explained the way that the tourism industry would commence, taking into consideration the methods used by the countries who recommend tourism and the health guidelines and advice given by the World Health Organization. The ministry emphasized that the government has paid attention for the success of the vaccination program to ensure health protection of the people. Meanwhile, former Sri Lanka's ambassador to Russia, Udayanga Veeratunga, expressed his views yesterday during a media briefing on the promotion of the local tourism industry.
The tusker Nadungamuwe Raja returned to his home at Gampa Nadungamuwa after successfully performing duties at the Dalada Perahera. People in the area warmly welcomed the tusker. The tusker Nadungamuwe Raja left on the 1st of August to take part in the Kandy Dalada Perahera. He was given the protection of the People's Special Task Force from the Varakapula. A separate team is available to provide him with facilities under the patronage of the Sri Dalada Maligav in Kandy for the journey taking about 10 days. The owner of the tusker, a traditional indigenous doctor, Harsha Dharmavijay, says the walk has a positive impact on the health of the elephant. Nadungamuwe Raja reached Kandy on the 12th of August. Nadungamuwe Raja, who took part in all processions, carried the casket at the final Kumbal Perahera and Randoli Perahera. After completing Perahera duties, Raja stayed for more than 1 week resting at the Sri Dalada Maligava premises in Kandy. He commenced returning on the 1st of this month amidst the security of Police Special Task Force. Steps have been taken to provide all facilities on his return journey as well. People in the area have arrived to welcome the tusker despite the quarantine curfew. The owner of the Nadungamwe Raja, Dr. Harsha Dharmavijaya, said that the tusker with sound health condition, although more than 65 years of age, will be made available to take part in the Dalada procession next year as well.
Now, Minister Nama Rajapaksa said that the government hopes to complete development projects that have been disrupted due to the pandemic soon. He mentioned this while joining to inspect the progress of the development projects in the Polonnaruwa district yesterday. Minister Nama Rajapaksa inspected yesterday the drinking water supply scheme at Madirigiriya Lankans, which is being built at a cost of 2.3 billion rupees. It will benefit 15,000 families. A group of people, including State Ministers Siripala Gamlath, Roshan Ranasinghe and MP Amarkirti Atukorala, were present on the occasion. The GSC ground in Polonnaruwa Giritale is being developed at a cost of 1.5 million rupees. Minister Nama Rajapaksa inspected the ground yesterday. Minister Nama Rajapaksa inspected yesterday the development activities of the road to Kantale through Peramaduwa from Bisopura. Development of 13 kilometers has commenced at a cost of 490 million rupees. Distribution of plants and seeds to launch home garden of 1 million family units commenced symbolically yesterday. Today. It took place at Anuradhapura Sambuddha Jayanti Temple under the patronage of Minister Nama Rajapaksa. The project is implemented at 14,022 Grama Seva divisions in the country. The program under the theme A Productive Citizen, Happy Family is being implemented under the guidance of State Minister Shihan Semasinghe. A group of people, including Chief Sanganayaka of the North Central Province, Venerable Nugethanne Panya Nandathera, State Minister Thenuka Vidana Gamage, parliamentarians KPS Kumarasiri, Uddika Premaratna and former Minister H.D. Semasinghe were present on this occasion.
Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage says that steps will be taken to completely stop importation of chilies by 2024. He said that plans have been drawn up to cultivate chilies in 3,000 acres island-wide. Minister Mahindananda Alutgamage said that 100% of the dried chilies required by the country is being imported. He said that government hopes to produce 50,000 metric tons of dried chilies in the country, for which 300,000 metric tons of raw chilies are needed. Seeds needed by the country will be produced in the Kandy district. 3,000 acres in the north and east have been selected to cultivate chilies. He said that the government expects to stop importing dried chilies by 2024. The minister mentioned this yesterday while joining in an inspection tour of 100-acre chili cultivation at Navalapitiya, Galabodavatta. Youth in the area have been given 2.5 acres each to cultivate chilies. The minister said that another 100 acres will be given to unemployed youth in the area in the future.
Now, a new project to plant tea using organic fertilizer at religious places in the districts where tea is cultivated commenced recently. It is expected to be implemented at religious places with more than half an acre of land. The first program was commenced at Kegol Vattarama Rajamavihara. Tea is planted on 2 acres at the place. Tea Smallholder Development Authority and the Tea Development Board are assisting the project. State Minister Kanaka Herath and a group of people were present on the occasion. A large-scale organic fertilizer factory is situated at Valimada Kappetipula area. The owner R.B. Ekanayaka has commenced the factory about 8 years ago and more than 3,000 kilograms of organic fertilizer are being produced daily. He said that there is a high demand for his products. Farmer S. Pushparaja of Vaunia, Manaramba Kulam area has been producing organic fertilizer for 3 years. He produces organic fertilizer needed for about 200 farmer families in the area.
The Petroleum Corporation says that fuel consumption has been reduced by 40% due to quarantine curfew. Chairman of the corporation, Sumit Vijayasinghe, said that there is no fuel shortage in the country. Chairman of the Petroleum Corporation, Sumit Vijayasinghe, said that the corporation has fuel stocks needed for another 25 to 30 years. It includes the daily production at Sapkaskanda refinery, at the storage facility of the corporation and other fuel storage facilities in the country.
Well, that's a wrap of tonight's Primetime News Bulletin here at Rupavahini Channel I, and until we meet again next time, do take care, stay safe and good night.